Hello, my dear friend. Welcome back to Mr. English Lab. I am very happy that you are here today. Thank you for coming to learn English with me. Today we are going to listen, think, and talk about something very special. The title of our lesson is I Am Always a Student. What does that mean? It means that we are always learning. Even when we grow older, even when we finish school, even when we have a job or a family, we are still students. We learn from people, from books, from mistakes, from life itself. I want you to feel relaxed, take a deep breath, and listen slowly with me. This is your time to enjoy English, to understand English, and to feel good about your progress. Now, let's start. Imagine you are sitting in a quiet room. Maybe you have a cup of tea or coffee. Maybe you are walking outside and listening with your headphones. Wherever you are, I want you to feel calm. You are doing something important right now. You are improving your English. You are giving yourself a gift. Every small step counts. So let's take the first step together. I want to tell you a story about my life. It is a simple story, but it has a big lesson inside. When I was young, I thought learning was only for school. I thought, when I finish school, I will stop learning. I will be free. I will be done with books and teachers. But when I grew older, I understood that learning never really stops. It just changes shape. When I started working, I learned how to talk to people. When I traveled, I learned how to be patient. When I met new friends, I learned how to listen. And when I started to teach, I learned even more. So I realized that I am always a student. Maybe you are too. Now I want to talk about English learning. Many people feel shy when they speak English. They worry that they will make mistakes. Maybe you feel the same sometimes. Maybe you think, my English is not good enough. But my friend, remember this. Mistakes are your teachers. When you make a mistake, it means you are trying. And trying is how we learn. I still make mistakes when I learn new things. Everyone does. The secret is to keep going. Don't stop because of fear. Say to yourself, I am a student. I am learning. I am growing. When I learn something new, I like to repeat it many times. Repeating is like watering a plant. The more you water it, the stronger it grows. Your English is like that plant. Every time you listen, every time you speak, every time you read or write, you are giving your plant water and light. You cannot see the growth every day, but slowly, your English becomes bigger, stronger, and more natural. Let's practice some listening together now. I will say a few sentences slowly, and you can repeat them in your mind or out loud if you want. Ready? I am a student. I am always learning. I am not afraid to make mistakes. I learn from everything around me. I enjoy learning English. Every day, I get better. Good job. Say them again, even slower. Feel the meaning of each word. Let your voice and your heart work together. You are not just learning English. You are building confidence. You are building a new part of yourself. Let me tell you another short story. When I first started to learn another language, I felt very shy. I wanted to speak perfectly, but I could not. I made mistakes, and people sometimes laughed. I felt embarrassed. But then, one day, I met a kind teacher. She said to me, "Don't be afraid to sound funny. Every mistake you make is a step forward." That sentence changed everything for me. From that day, I tried to enjoy my mistakes. When I said something wrong, I smiled. When I didn't understand, I asked again. Slowly, my confidence grew. And you know what? After some time, people started to say, "Wow, your language is very good." That was a happy moment for me. So please remember, your progress might feel slow, but it is real. Every word you learn today is a step to your future English self. Let's talk about the idea of being a student forever. Being a student does not mean sitting in a classroom all the time. It means having a curious heart. It means looking at the world and asking questions. It means wanting to understand, not just to know. For example, if you see a new word in English, Don't just translate it. Try to feel it. Where can you use it? What emotion does it have? Is it a happy word or a serious word? When you ask these small questions, your English becomes alive. Many people think that children learn faster than adults. Maybe that is true sometimes, but adults have something special too. Adults have patience and experience. Adults understand the value of learning. You can use your life experience to connect with English. When you hear a new phrase, you can connect it to your own story. That helps you remember. Let's do a small exercise together. Think about something new you learned recently. It can be anything. Maybe you learned how to cook a new dish. Maybe you learned how to use a new app on your phone. Maybe you learned how to talk to a new friend in English. Think about that moment. How did you feel? Maybe you felt proud. Maybe you smiled. That feeling is the same energy you can use for English learning. When you feel good about learning, your brain opens, your heart opens, and you remember more easily. I remember when I first started this channel, Mr. English Lab. I wanted to help people like you, people who want to understand English in a natural and friendly way. I wanted you to feel that English is not something far away or difficult. English can be a friend. English can be fun. When you listen to English every day, even for a few minutes, your ears get used to the rhythm, the sound, the flow. And slowly, speaking becomes easier. Listening is the first key. That is why we are doing this together right now. Simple, clear, slow English listening practice. You can use this story many times. You can listen again tomorrow, next week, or next month. Each time you listen, you will understand more. That is the magic of repetition. Every time you listen, your brain connects more dots. You will start to notice how words connect, how sentences flow. You will start to feel English instead of translating it. That is when real progress begins. So, my dear friend, keep going. Be proud of yourself. You are doing something wonderful. Remember, I am here with you. We are learning together. I am a teacher, but I am also a student. I learn from you, from your questions, from your progress, from your courage. We are all students in the school of life. When I think about learning, I often remember how life gives us lessons in many small ways. Sometimes the lesson comes from a book, sometimes from a teacher, and sometimes from a simple conversation with a friend. There was a time when I worked in a small cafe. I was not a teacher then. I was just a young person trying to earn some money. Many customers came every day. Some were happy, some were tired, some were in a hurry. One day an old man came in and ordered coffee. He looked very calm. I asked him, "Why are you always so peaceful?" He smiled and said, "Because every day I try to learn something new, even something small." That answer surprised me. He was old, maybe 70 years old, but he still saw himself as a student. That day I learned that being a student is not about age or school. It is about attitude. The moment you say, "I already know everything," you stop growing. But if you say, "I still have things to learn," then every day becomes interesting. Every day brings a new surprise. That is what I want for you, to wake up with curiosity and go to sleep with gratitude. Learning English can be like this too. Some days it feels easy, and other days it feels very hard. Some days you understand everything you hear, and other days it feels like you understand nothing. That is normal. That is how learning works. It goes up and down, like waves in the ocean. When the wave is high, enjoy the feeling of success. When the wave is low, don't give up, it will rise again. Every mistake, every difficult word, every slow sentence you listen to is helping you get stronger, even if you don't see it right away. I like to think of learning English as climbing a mountain. When you start, the road is long and your legs get tired. But if you keep walking, step by step, you will reach the top and see a beautiful view. You will look back and say, "Wow, I came so far." That is the feeling I want you to have. Now let's practice some listening with positive sentences again. I will say them slowly. Try to repeat in your heart or softly with your voice. I am learning English step by step. I am patient with myself. I listen carefully. I understand more every day. I believe in my progress. I am proud of my effort. Very good. These sentences may sound simple, but they are powerful. When you say them often, your mind starts to believe them, and your heart becomes stronger. Confidence is not something you are born with. Confidence grows from practice and from kindness to yourself. So please, be kind to yourself as you learn. Let's talk about one more thing, comparing yourself to others. Sometimes we look at other people and think, their English is so good. I will never be like them. I understand that feeling. I used to compare myself to others too. But I learned that comparison steals our joy. Everyone has their own path. Maybe that person started learning earlier. Maybe they had more time, or maybe they practiced differently. But you have your own story. Your journey is unique. You are learning at your own speed, and that is okay. The only person you should compare yourself to is your past self. Ask, am I better than yesterday? If yes, then you're growing. Even one small improvement is a victory. I once had a student who was very shy. She didn't want to speak in class. When I asked her questions, she looked down and said very quietly, I don't know. But she came to every class. She listened carefully. She practiced a little every day. Slowly, her voice became louder. After 6 months, she gave a small talk in front of the class. Her hands were shaking, but she smiled. Everyone clapped for her. She said, I never thought I could speak English in front of people. That was one of the happiest moments for me as a teacher. It reminded me that small steps create big changes. You may not see it today, but every bit of practice counts. Sometimes, people ask me, how can I learn English faster? I tell them, don't worry about speed. Worry about connection. What do I mean by connection? It means feeling connected to the words, to the sounds, to the stories you hear. When you listen to English with emotion, you remember more. Try to feel what the speaker feels. If the speaker is happy, feel the happiness. If the speaker is sad, feel the sadness. This emotional connection helps you remember words naturally. Language is not only about grammar and vocabulary, it is about life and feelings. Let's do a little practice together. Listen carefully. I will describe a small scene. Try to imagine it in your mind. A young woman is sitting near a window. The sun is shining through the glass. She is reading an English book. At first, she does not understand every word, but she keeps reading. She looks up new words and smiles. She takes a deep breath and whispers, I can do this. Now imagine that you are that person. You are reading, learning, and feeling proud. This is the power of imagination. It makes learning more real. I want you to know that listening to English like this, slowly, clearly, and gently, helps your brain relax. When your brain is relaxed, it can learn better. That's why I always speak slowly here in Mr. English Lab. I want you to feel calm, not stressed. Stress blocks learning. Calmness opens it. When you listen in a peaceful mood, words enter your memory more deeply. So, if you ever feel tired or confused, take a break, breathe, and come back later. Your brain will thank you. Do you know what makes learning beautiful? It never ends. Every time you think you understand something, a new layer appears. For example, you might learn a simple English word like run. Later, you discover that run has many meanings. You can run fast, run a company, run out of time, or run away. Each new meaning is like a small door that opens to a new room. That is why English is such a rich language. It is full of surprises. So, when you find something confusing, smile and say, another door to explore. That way, confusion becomes curiosity, and curiosity becomes learning. Now, let's take a moment to think about the title again. I am always a student. When you say this to yourself, It reminds you that learning is a lifelong friend. You can be a student of English, a student of life, a student of kindness. You can learn from books, from people, from nature, even from silence. Everything teaches you something if you listen carefully. Try it today, look around and ask yourself, what can I learn from this moment? Maybe you learn patience when waiting in a line. Maybe you learn gratitude when you see someone helping another person. Every moment is a lesson. Let's say another small group of sentences together. I am open to learning. I learn from my mistakes. I listen to the world around me. I speak with courage. I am growing every day. Wonderful. Each time you repeat sentences like these, you train your brain to think positively. And positive thinking helps you speak better, remember more, and feel confident. English learning is not only about language, it's about mindset. When your mind is happy, learning becomes easier. Before we finish this part, I want you to imagine your future self. Imagine 1 year from now. You are still listening to English. You are speaking more fluently. You understand conversations more easily. You can watch a movie or talk to a friend in English without feeling afraid. How will that feel? It will feel amazing, right? That future starts today with this small step, this small lesson. Every big dream begins with one small action. You are already doing it. Sometimes when I talk to my students, they tell me that learning English feels lonely. They sit alone at home, listening, reading, or watching lessons on their phones or computers. They say, I don't have anyone to talk to. I feel alone. I understand that feeling very well. When we study alone, it can sometimes feel quiet or empty. But here is something I want you to remember. You're not really alone. Every time you listen to this channel, every time you hear my voice, we are learning together. There are thousands of other people around the world listening right now, just like you. They may live in different countries, speak different first languages, and live different lives, but they share the same goal, to learn English and to grow. So when you study, remember that you are part of a big family of learners. You belong to a community of people who are trying, improving, and believing in themselves. We are all connected by this same dream. When I first started teaching English online, I was nervous. I thought maybe my lessons were too simple. Maybe people would not like them. But then I started receiving messages from learners around the world, from India, Brazil, Egypt, Indonesia, Mexico, and many other places. They said things like, your slow voice helps me understand, or I listen to you every morning before work. Those words made me feel so grateful. I realized that teaching is also a kind of learning. Every time I teach, I learn about patience, about communication, about kindness. I learn from your experiences, your questions, your ideas. So yes, I am always a student too. Now, let's talk about something very important, listening. Many people focus too much on speaking, but listening is the first step to good speaking. When you listen carefully, your brain starts to understand how English sounds. You start to hear the music of the language. Every language has its own rhythm, its own melody. English has a soft rhythm, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, with special stress on some words and light touches on others. When you listen often, your ears start to catch this rhythm naturally. Then, when you speak, your voice starts to copy what you have heard. So, before you speak a lot, listen a lot. Listening is not passive. It is very active. You are training your brain and your mouth at the same time. When you listen to English, don't worry if you don't understand every word. Focus on the feeling. Focus on the main idea. Understanding everything is not the goal at the beginning. The goal is to get used to the sound. Slowly, your understanding will grow. It's just like listening to a new song. The first time, maybe you catch only a few words. The second time, a few more. After many times, you can sing along. English works the same way. So be patient. Listen many times. Repetition is your friend. Let me tell you about one of my students named Maria. She started learning English 2 years ago. When she began, she could only say, "Hello, and my name is Maria." She was very shy, and she didn't like to speak because she thought her accent was bad. But she decided to listen to English every day, just for 10 minutes. She listened while cooking, walking, or cleaning. Sometimes she didn't understand everything, but she didn't stop. After a few months, she started to recognize more and more words. Her pronunciation became better. After 1 year, she could have a simple conversation with me. She told me, "I think English is becoming part of my life." That made me smile, because that is the real goal, not to just learn English, but to make it part of your daily life, like breathing or smiling. You can do this too. You can make English a part of your world. Try to listen a little every day, even if it's just 5 minutes. Maybe while brushing your teeth, taking the bus, or relaxing before bed. Your brain learns best through small, regular practice, not through long, stressful study. It's like watering a flower every day, not once a month. When you give your brain small drops of English daily, the flower grows naturally. Let's repeat some positive sentences again. This helps you remember and feel stronger. I enjoy listening to English. I understand more and more every day. My ears are learning the sound of English. I am patient. I am growing with every word. Very nice. You are doing great. I hope you say those words with confidence. Even if your voice is soft, even if you say them in your mind, they have power. Now let's talk about speaking. Many people think they need to speak perfectly before they can talk to someone. But that is not true. You can start speaking from day one, even with simple words. If you can say, "My name is Sam," or "I like coffee," or "I am happy today," you are already communicating. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to connect. When we speak, we are sharing a small piece of ourselves. So don't wait until you know everything. Start small. Say what you can, even if it's simple. Every sentence you say makes you braver. If you don't have anyone to talk to yourself. I do that sometimes too. You can describe what you see around you. For example, I am sitting on a chair. The weather is nice. I am drinking tea. I feel relaxed. This kind of self-talk helps you think in English. It makes your brain faster and more comfortable with the language. You can also record your voice and listen later. Don't judge yourself harshly. Just listen and notice what sounds good and what needs practice. This is how you train your speaking muscles. Another good way to practice speaking is shadowing. That means you listen to someone speak and try to say the same words at the same time. You don't have to do it perfectly. The idea is to feel the rhythm and sound. For example, you can play one of my lessons and repeat after me. Over time, your pronunciation will improve naturally. Shadowing helps you become more fluent because it trains your mouth to move like a native speaker's mouth. I want to tell you something very important now. Sometimes, you will feel tired of learning. You will think, "I've been learning for months, but I still make mistakes." That is okay. Every learner feels that way sometimes. When that happens, take a short rest. Don't quit. Rest is part of learning too. Your brain needs time to process new information. After a short rest, you will feel ready again. Remember, learning is not a race. It's a journey. Some days you walk fast, some days you walk slow. But as long as you keep walking, you are moving forward. I also want you to celebrate small wins. Maybe today you understood a new word. Maybe you watched a short video in English without subtitles. Maybe you spoke to someone in English and they understood you. These are not small things, they are big steps. When you notice your progress, you feel motivated. So please, be proud of every little achievement. Write it down if you want. Say to yourself, "I did something good today." That positive feeling gives you energy for the next day. Let's take a moment now to relax together. Close your eyes if you can. Take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. Feel calm. Feel proud. Say to yourself, I am learning. I am improving. I am always a student. When you say this with peace in your heart, English becomes something beautiful, not something stressful. Now, I want to share one more short story. It's about my friend Peter. He is a teacher too, but not an English teacher. He teaches music. One day I asked him, how do you teach people to play instruments? He said, I don't teach them. I help them teach themselves. That made me think. That is what real learning is, teaching yourself little by little with guidance. When you study English, you are your own best teacher. You decide when to study, how to practice, and how much to listen. You are in control. When you understand that, learning becomes powerful. You no longer wait for the perfect method or perfect teacher. You realize that every moment, every sound, every mistake is your teacher. Sometimes I think about what it really means to be a student. A student is not only someone who studies in school. A student is a person who wants to understand the world. When you are a student, you look at things with open eyes. You ask questions. You don't just accept everything, you try to see deeper. For example, when you listen to an English sentence, you can ask, why did the speaker use that word? What feeling does it show? When you ask these small questions, your brain starts to notice patterns. You begin to understand not only what people say, but how and why they say it. This curiosity makes you a better learner. It makes English more alive. So, always keep your curiosity. Ask, listen, think, and explore. That is the heart of being a student. When I was in university, I met a teacher who changed the way I thought about learning. She said something very simple but very powerful. She said, if you want to learn, be ready to be wrong. At first, I didn't understand what she meant. But later, I realized she was right. Many people stop learning because they are afraid of being wrong. But mistakes are part of the road to success. Every time you make a mistake, your brain learns something new. It remembers what didn't work and helps you try something better next time. So, when you make a mistake in English, smile and say, thank you, mistake. You just helped me grow. This positive way of thinking will change how you learn. It will make you feel lighter and freer. Let's do a small exercise together. I will say some sentences, and you can repeat them softly or in your mind. I am not afraid of mistakes. Mistakes help me learn. I learn something new every day. I am patient with myself. I am becoming a confident English speaker. Very good. The more you repeat words like these, the more you train your thoughts. Your mind listens to your words. When you tell yourself that you can learn, you actually start learning faster. That's the secret power of positive thinking. Now, let's talk about something else that many learners ask me about, motivation. Sometimes, in the beginning, you feel very excited to learn English. You listen to lessons, you watch videos, you study new words. But after some time, maybe you feel tired. You lose your energy. You don't feel like studying. That happens to everyone, even to me. Motivation is like a fire, sometimes strong, sometimes weak. The key is to keep it alive, even when it feels small. You can do this by remembering why you started. Ask yourself, why do I want to learn English? Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want a better job. Maybe you want to make friends in other countries. Or maybe you just enjoy the beauty of the language. Whatever your reason is, keep it close to your heart. Write it down. Look at it often. It will remind you why you began this journey. Another way to stay motivated is to make learning fun. Don't only study grammar or vocabulary lists. Watch short movies or listen to songs in English. Read stories that you enjoy. Listen to slow podcasts like this one. You can even change your phone's language to English. When English becomes part of your world, learning feels easier. You start to live in English, not just study it. And when you live in English, your brain starts to think in English naturally. That is the best kind of learning. I want to share something personal with you. When I was learning another language, I used to keep a small notebook with me. Every time I heard a new word or phrase, I wrote it down. But I didn't only write the translation. I wrote a small example sentence with it. For example, if I learned the word journey, I wrote, "Learning English is my journey." That helped me remember not just the word, but the feeling of it. You can do the same. When you learn new words, use them in your own life. Write simple sentences about your day. I am cooking dinner. I am listening to English. I am tired but happy. These small sentences build your English muscle every day. Now, let's do a listening and imagination exercise. Close your eyes if you can. Imagine that you are sitting in a quiet park. The sun is soft, the air is fresh, and the birds are singing. You have your phone in your hand, and you are listening to this lesson. You feel calm. You are not worried about understanding every word. You are just listening, relaxing, enjoying the sound of English. You smile and say, "I am learning. I am improving." You feel proud of yourself because you are giving time to your growth. This small moment is special. It belongs to you. No one can take it away. Learning English is not only about words, it's also about peace, patience, and happiness. Sometimes people say, "I am too old to learn." But that is not true. You are never too old to learn something new. Your brain is amazing. It can change and grow at any age. Scientists call this ability neuroplasticity. That means your brain can make new connections all the time. So even if you start learning English at 50 or 60 years old, you can still become very good. What matters is not your age, but your attitude. If you believe you can learn, you will. When you feel that learning is hard, remember how babies learn. They listen for months before they say their first words. They make mistakes, but they keep trying. They don't feel shy or embarrassed. They enjoy learning because everything is new and exciting. You can learn the same way. Listen more, relax, and don't be afraid to sound like a beginner. Beginners have the most fun because they discover something new every day. I also want to remind you to take care of yourself while learning. Learning is not only about studying, it's also about your body and mind. If you are tired or stressed, it's hard to remember new things. So, eat well, sleep well, and take small breaks. When you feel good, your brain works better. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your English is to rest. Let's practice again with a few sentences. I can learn at any age. I enjoy the process of learning. I take care of my mind and body. I am strong. I am always a student. Excellent. You are doing wonderfully. The more you listen, the more natural English becomes for you. Every word, every sound, every idea is helping you grow. I am proud of you for staying with me through this lesson. Many people start, but not everyone continues. You are showing dedication and heart, and that is what makes a real learner. Before we finish this part, I want you to think about what kind of student you want to be. Not just in English, but in life. Do you want to be a curious student? A patient student? A kind student? You can be all of these. Every day, choose to learn something small. Maybe a new word, maybe a new idea, maybe a new way to help someone. When you keep learning, your world becomes bigger and brighter. Remember, knowledge is not heavy, it is light. The more you carry it, the lighter your heart feels. There is a saying that I like very much. It says, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. This means that when you truly want to learn something, life brings you the right people, lessons, or experiences to help you. Maybe you find a helpful video, maybe you meet someone who speaks English with you, or maybe you suddenly understand something that used to be confusing. When your heart is open to learning, the whole world becomes your teacher. The sky, the trees, the people, even your own mistakes, they all start teaching you. That is why I call this lesson, I am always a student. Because when you think like a student, every day becomes full of lessons. Some lessons are easy and some are difficult, but all of them help you grow. I remember a time when I traveled to another country where no one spoke my language. At first, I felt lost. I could not ask for food, I could not understand the signs, and I felt shy to talk. But then I decided to change my attitude. Instead of feeling afraid, I said to myself, "This is my classroom now." Every street, every shop, every person became my teacher. I watched how people spoke. I listened carefully to their tone and rhythm, and I tried to repeat what I heard. Slowly, I began to understand more. Sometimes I said the wrong words, and people laughed kindly. But those moments helped me remember the right ones. By the end of my trip, I felt more confident and happy. I learned that when you face something new with a student's heart, fear becomes excitement. You can use that same idea in your English learning. Think of the world as your classroom. Maybe you see a sign in English on the street. Read it and try to understand. Maybe watch a movie. Listen for new words. Maybe you read a message online. Notice how people write. Every little thing is part of your lesson. You don't need to wait for the perfect course or the perfect time. Learning is already around you. All you need is attention. Let's practice some gentle repetition again. The world is my classroom. Every day I learn something new. I am open to new lessons. I enjoy learning from life. I am always a student. Good job. Keep breathing slowly as you listen. Let the words feel comfortable in your mouth. Remember that your brain needs time to build new pathways. Every time you repeat, those pathways grow stronger. Sometimes students tell me they feel nervous when speaking to native English speakers. They worry that their accent is strange or their grammar is not perfect. But the truth is, most people are kind. They don't care about your mistakes. They care about your message. When you speak with honesty and kindness, people listen to your meaning, not your grammar. Your accent is a part of your identity. It tells your story. It shows where you come from and what languages live in your heart. You don't need to erase it. You just need to speak clearly and confidently. So, don't try to sound like someone else. Sound like you. That is the most beautiful way to speak. Let me tell you another short story. I once met a man from Vietnam who spoke English with a strong accent, but his words were full of life and energy. When he talked, people smiled because he spoke from his heart. He told me, "I know my English is not perfect, but I am happy that people understand me." And that is the point: communication, not perfection. When I listened to him, I realized again that confidence comes from courage, not from grammar. Let's say together slowly. My accent is beautiful. I speak with confidence. People understand my heart. I am not afraid to speak. I enjoy using English every day. Wonderful. The more you repeat these ideas, the more they become true. Your voice deserves to be heard. You are learning not only to speak English, but to share your thoughts, dreams, and kindness with the world. Now, let's talk about time. Many learners say, "I don't have enough time to study English." I understand. Life is busy. You have work, family, and many other things. But you don't need hours every day. Even 10 minutes of listening can make a big difference if you do it regularly. Think of English like brushing your teeth. You don't do it once a month. You do it every day, just for a few minutes. That small habit keeps your English fresh and alive. So, find small pockets of time when you are cooking, cleaning, walking, or waiting for the bus. Listen to English then. These moments add up, and after some months, you will see how much you have improved. When you create a daily habit, your brain starts to expect English. It becomes part of your rhythm. For example, maybe you listen to Mr. English Lab every morning. At first, you need to remind yourself. But after a few weeks, your brain will say, "It's time for English." That is how habits are built, through gentle repetition. So don't worry about being perfect. Worry about being consistent. One small step every day is stronger than one big step once in a while. There's another thing I want to share with you, the idea of gratitude. When you feel thankful for your learning, it becomes easier and more enjoyable. Be grateful for your ears that can listen, for your mind that can think, for your heart that wants to grow. When you start a lesson, say to yourself, "Thank you for this moment. Thank you for this chance to learn." Gratitude changes the way you feel inside. It turns pressure into peace. It turns "I have to study" into "I get to study." This small change makes a big difference. Let's take a short gratitude pause right now. Close your eyes if you can. Take a deep breath in and out. Think of something small that makes you happy today. Maybe a smile from a friend, a warm drink, or even this quiet time to learn English. Feel thankful for it. Now whisper softly, "Thank you." That's it. That simple act opens your heart and helps your mind learn better. Sometimes, being a student also means accepting that you don't know everything. And that's okay. You don't have to know everything today. Learning takes time. Imagine if you already knew everything, life would be boring. Not knowing is what makes life interesting. So, when you feel confused, don't be upset. Smile and say, "This is my next lesson." Confusion is the first step to understanding. You can practice patience in many ways. For example, when you don't understand a word, try to guess its meaning from the sentence before you check the dictionary. When you forget something, don't feel bad, just repeat it again. Each time you try, you are training your brain. It's just like learning to ride a bicycle. The first few times you fall, but after a while, you can ride smoothly. English learning is the same. You fall, you stand up, and you keep going. I know that sometimes you may feel your progress is slow, but slow learning is not bad learning. Slow learning is deep learning. When you take your time, you remember things longer. You understand them better. Fast learning may look good for a short time, but deep learning stays forever. So, move at your own speed. You are not in a race. Let's say a few peaceful sentences together now. I have enough time to learn. I move at my own speed. I am grateful for this lesson. I trust my progress. I am always a student. Very nice. You are doing great. I can imagine you listening calmly, maybe smiling, maybe nodding. That is the perfect way to learn. When you enjoy the process, English starts to feel like a friend, not a subject. A friend that helps you open doors to new people, new cultures, and new dreams. Every time I make a new lesson, I imagine that you are sitting somewhere quiet, maybe with your headphones on, maybe with a cup of tea, and you are smiling as you listen. I imagine that you are trying to understand every word, and I speak slowly so you can follow me easily. I want you to feel like you are talking with a friend, not a teacher in a classroom. That is the best way to learn, when learning feels natural, comfortable, and friendly. So as you listen, I hope you feel relaxed. I hope you feel proud of yourself. And I hope you remember that this small moment is a beautiful part of your learning journey. In every language, there are moments when we feel stuck. You study new words, but then you forget them. You understand something one day, but the next day you feel lost again. You wonder, why is this happening? But this is completely normal. The brain learns through repetition and forgetting. When you forget something and then remember it again, you make the memory stronger. It's like lifting weights for your brain. So don't feel bad when you forget. It's just your brain exercising. Every time you remember again, you get stronger. When I was learning another language, I used to write new words on small cards. I carried them in my pocket. Whenever I had a few minutes, I looked at one card, read the word, and said a sentence with it. Sometimes I forgot, but that was okay. Because every time I looked again, the word became clearer. After a few weeks, those words started to live in my mind naturally. You can try the same thing. Make your own small cards with words you want to remember. Look at them when you have free time, waiting in line, sitting on the bus, or before sleeping. Small steps like this make a big difference. Let's say together some positive English sentences. Repeat them softly in your mind or out loud. I am patient when I learn. I remember more every day. It's okay to forget sometimes. Learning takes time, and I am growing. I am always a student. Very good. Feel how calm and kind those words are. You don't have to hurry. Learning is not a race to finish. It's a gentle journey. Now, let's talk about one of the best ways to make English learning fun: storytelling. Human beings love stories. We remember stories better than facts or lists. When you listen to a story, your brain becomes active. You imagine pictures. You feel emotions. And those emotions help. You remember words and sentences more easily. That's why in Mr. English Lab, I always try to include small stories. They make the language alive. Let me tell you a short story about a boy named Leo. Leo wanted to learn English because he dreamed of traveling to another country. He started with small steps. Every morning, he listened to English songs while brushing his teeth. He didn't understand everything, but he liked the rhythm. He repeated the parts he understood. Then, in the afternoon, he watched a short English video. At night, he wrote 3 new words in his notebook. He did this every day. After a few months, Leo was surprised he could understand much more than before. He even started to dream in English sometimes. One day, he met a traveler in his city and spoke English with him for 5 minutes. The traveler smiled and said, "Your English is very good." Leo felt proud and happy. That small moment made him realize how much he had learned. You see, success in learning doesn't come all at once. It comes quietly, step by step. You are just like Leo. Every time you listen to this lesson, you are taking small steps. You may not see the result today, but one day you will look back and say, "Wow, I can understand so much more now." That will be a reward for your patience. Sometimes it helps to make English part of your emotions. For example, if you learn the word happy, don't just say it, feel it. Smile when you say, "I am happy." When you learn the word tired, say it at the end of a long day and notice how your body feels. Connecting feelings with words helps your memory. English becomes not just sounds, but experiences. You remember what you feel. Let's practice that now with some feeling words. Repeat and imagine them. I am happy. I am calm. I am curious. I am thankful. I am proud of my progress. That's perfect. When you connect words with emotions, you make learning deeper. Now, let's talk about mistakes again. Many learners think if I make a mistake, people will laugh. But let me tell you something, mistakes make you brave. When you speak and make mistakes, you are practicing courage. People respect courage. They don't laugh at effort, they admire it. I have seen many learners who speak slowly, with mistakes, but with big smiles. And everyone loves talking to them because they are real. They're trying. So next time you make a mistake, just laugh and keep talking. That is how you grow. When I was a new teacher, I also made mistakes in class. Sometimes I explained something in a confusing way. Sometimes I forgot a word. But my students smiled and waited for me. They were kind, and they taught me too. That's when I realized a good teacher is always a student. I still learn new things every day, not only about English, but about people, emotions, and life. And that's why I love this job. Because teaching you also teaches me. Let's say a few sentences to celebrate this idea. I learn from my mistakes. I am brave when I try. Every mistake teaches me something new. I grow a little more each day. I am always a student. Beautiful. Feel proud of yourself. You are practicing your English and also your mindset. Your thoughts are becoming more positive, and that is powerful. Now, let's imagine your future again. Maybe one day you travel to another country. You arrive at the airport and someone says, "Hello, how are you?" You smile and answer in English, "I'm fine, thank you." You understand them and they understand you. You feel confident. You walk through the city, read signs, order food, and talk to people. You realize, I can really do this. That moment will come if you keep going. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be brave and consistent. Remember that English is not just a school subject, it is a bridge. A bridge between you and the world. It connects you to people, stories, ideas, and opportunities. Every time you listen, you are building that bridge stronger. So keep building, brick by brick, word by word. Before we finish this part, take another deep breath with me. Inhale slowly through your nose and exhale gently through your mouth. Feel calm. Smile a little. You are doing something beautiful for yourself. You are learning. You are improving. You are growing. And no one can take that away from you. Let's end this part with a few final lines to remember. I believe in myself. I learn a little every day. I am patient and kind. I love learning English. I am always a student. Every day gives us new chances to learn something, even small things. When you wake up in the morning, you can say to yourself, today I will learn something new in English. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe just one new word, one short sentence, or one new sound. When you learn small things every day, they build up like tiny drops of water that fill a big jar. After some time, you look back and realize that your jar is full of knowledge. Many learners think they need to study for hours, but small daily practice is much more powerful. 5 minutes of listening with focus and joy is better than 1 hour of tired study. So, if you only have a few minutes, use them with love and attention. Listen slowly. Feel the words. Let your heart be calm. You are doing something good for yourself. When I was young, I wanted to play the guitar. At first, I thought it would be easy, but when I tried, my fingers hurt and the sound was not nice. I almost gave up. But my teacher told me, play a little every day. Even 5 minutes is enough. I followed his advice. Every day, I played a few minutes. After a few months, I could play songs. The same rule works for English. You don't need to be perfect today. Just practice a little every day, and soon you will surprise yourself. That's why I always say, slow progress is real progress. Sometimes, you may not notice your progress because it happens quietly. You might listen and think, I don't understand much, but your brain is working inside, collecting sounds, patterns, and meanings. Then, one day, you suddenly understand something easily, and you realize that your hard work was never lost. Learning is like planting seeds. You don't see the flower on the first day, but under the soil, something beautiful is growing. Your English is growing too, even when you don't see it yet. So be patient. Trust the process. Let's say some gentle sentences together again. I learn something small every day. My progress is real, even if I don't see it yet. I am patient and calm. My English is growing like a flower. I am always a student. Beautiful. Those words carry power when you say them slowly and mean them. Now, I want to talk about listening with focus. Sometimes when people listen to English, they get distracted. Their mind starts thinking about other things, work, food, problems. That's normal. Our minds like to wander. But the more you practice bringing your attention back, the stronger your focus becomes. Try to listen like you are listening to music. You don't need to translate every word. Just enjoy the rhythm, the feeling, and the sound. When you listen this way, your brain learns naturally, like a child. Listening is also about silence. When you listen carefully, you are giving respect to the speaker. You are opening your mind. And when you really listen, you understand more than just words. You understand emotions. So, when you listen to English, listen with your ears and your heart. Don't rush to reply. Just listen deeply. That quiet attention is a powerful skill, not only in language but in life. I remember one of my students, a young man named Ahmed. He wanted to speak English fluently, but he talked too fast. He didn't listen carefully. So I told him, slow down. Listen first. At first, it was hard for him. But after some practice, he started to hear small details, how people paused, how they changed their tone, how they connected words. He told me, now when I listen, I can feel the meaning, not just hear it. That made me so happy. When you really listen, you don't just understand English, you understand people. Let's repeat together. I listen with care. I hear not only words but feelings. Listening helps me understand people. I am calm and focused. I am always a student. Good job. These small affirmations help you train both your language and your heart. Now let's talk about one of the most important parts of learning, joy. Joy is the secret energy behind real learning. When you feel happy while learning, you remember more. Think about a child playing. The child doesn't think, I am studying. They just enjoy playing, and in that play, they learn. You can do the same. Make your English learning playful. Laugh at funny sentences. Sing along with songs. Celebrate your mistakes. Smile when you learn a new word. When learning becomes joyful, your mind opens like a window to fresh air. When I first started teaching, I used to make lessons very serious. But I noticed that my students were tired and quiet. Then one day, I decided to make the lesson fun. We played small games, told stories, and laughed together. After that, they learned faster. That's when I learned that laughter is not a distraction, it's a teacher. When you smile, your brain relaxes, and relaxed brains learn better. So, never forget to smile while you study. Let's practice smiling through words. Say these lines slowly with a little smile on your face. I enjoy learning English. I smile when I make mistakes. Learning makes me happy. My brain learns better when I am relaxed. I am always a student. Very good. You can feel the difference, right? Even a small smile changes how you learn. Sometimes, being a student means helping others learn too. When you teach something to someone, you understand it more deeply yourself. You can try this. After you learn a new English word, tell a friend about it. Explain it to them in simple English. You will see that teaching helps you remember better. Even if your friend doesn't speak English, you can pretend you are teaching. The act of explaining helps your mind organize what you learned. When I was in school, I had a friend who was very good at math. Whenever I didn't understand something, he explained it to me patiently. One day, I asked him, how do you remember everything so easily? He smiled and said, because when I explain it to you, I learn it again. That lesson stayed with me forever. So, when you share what you learn, you grow twice, once when you learn and again when you teach. Let's repeat that idea together. When I teach others, I learn more. Sharing knowledge helps me grow. I am happy to help others learn. I am learning all the time. I am always a student. Wonderful. Every time you speak these ideas aloud, you are building a strong, kind, and curious mind. Now I want you to imagine something. Imagine your English after 1 year of daily listening and small practice. You can read short books. You can watch videos without subtitles. You can talk to people and understand their answers. You feel free. You feel proud. That version of you already exists. It's waiting inside you, growing a little more each day. You don't need to rush. Just keep going. Every small lesson is a step toward that future you. Before we close this part, let's take one more calm breath together. Inhale slowly. Exhale softly. Say to yourself, I am learning. I am improving. I am always a student. There is a quiet kind of strength that grows inside you when you keep learning. It is not loud and it does not show off, but it is strong and deep. You start to believe in yourself a little more each day. You begin to feel calm when you hear English, even if you don't understand every word. You start to think, it's okay, I can learn this. That small voice of confidence is very important. It is like a candle in the dark that helps you see the way forward. When you keep that candle alive, learning becomes lighter, softer, and more peaceful. Many students think they must be perfect to feel confident, but true confidence comes from trying again and again, even when you are not perfect. When you first started learning English, maybe you felt nervous. Maybe you thought, I can't do this, it's too hard. But look at you now. You are here, listening to a long English lesson. You understand more than before. You can follow the rhythm of the words. You can feel the meaning behind the sentences. That is real progress. You might not notice it every day, but your understanding is growing quietly, like a tree that grows slowly under the sun. You can't see it change every hour, but one day you look and it's taller, stronger, and full of green leaves. That's how your English is growing. Sometimes students ask me, how can I stay motivated? The answer is simple. Remember why you started. Maybe you want to travel, study, work, or connect with people from around the world. Maybe you just love learning something new. Whatever your reason, keep it close to your heart. When you feel tired or bored, think of that reason. It will remind you that learning English is not just about words. It's about your dreams. Your reason gives you energy. It's like the wind that keeps your sailboat moving forward, even when the sea is calm. When I was younger, I met a woman who was learning English at the age of 70. She told me she wanted to read her favorite book in English. Every morning, she read one page slowly, with a dictionary beside her. She underlined words she didn't know and looked them up. After a year, she finished the book. When she closed the last page, she cried with joy. She said, I did it. I really did it. That moment showed me something powerful. It's never too late to learn. As long as your heart is open, you can be a student forever. Let's repeat that idea together softly. It's never too late to learn. I can always start again. My heart is open to learning. I am proud of my progress. I am always a student. Very good. Take a slow breath and feel those words inside you. You are doing something kind and meaningful for yourself right now. Now, let's talk about how learning English can connect you to the world. When you understand English, you can read books from different countries, watch movies without subtitles, and listen to people from places you've never visited. You start to see how big and beautiful the world is. You understand that people are different, but also very similar. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone wants love, peace, and friendship. Learning English helps you talk to people who live far away, but feel close in spirit. It's like opening a window and letting fresh air in. The world becomes less scary and more connected. Once, I received a message from a learner who said, before, I was shy to talk to foreigners. But now I can say hello, ask questions, and even share a joke. I feel free. That made me smile so much. Language gives you that freedom, the freedom to share yourself with others. It's not only about grammar or vocabulary. It's about building bridges. Every time you say, hello, how are you, you are building a small bridge of understanding. And the world needs more of those bridges. Let's repeat that together. English connects me to the world. I can make friends in many places. I am open to new people and ideas. My words can build bridges. I am always a student. Excellent. You are doing beautifully. Now let's talk about kindness, because kindness is also a form of learning. When you listen to someone, when you speak with respect, when you help another learner, you are practicing kindness. And kindness is a language that everyone understands. Even if your English is not perfect, if your voice is kind, people will feel your message. Sometimes, one gentle word can make someone's day better. So, practice kindness in your English, not just correct grammar. I once had a student who spoke very slowly and made many mistakes, but everyone in class loved talking to him. Why? Because he was kind. He always smiled and encouraged others. His kindness made everyone feel comfortable. One day, I asked him, "How do you stay so positive?" He said, "Because I learn better when I'm happy." That simple sentence is full of wisdom. Happiness and kindness make your mind open like sunlight on a flower. Say these lines slowly with a smile. I speak with kindness. My words make people feel good. I learn better when I'm happy. I share my light with others. I am always a student. Beautiful. The more you practice speaking this way, the more natural it becomes. Now, let's talk about the power of curiosity. A good student is always curious. Curiosity means you want to know more. When you see a new word, instead of skipping it, you think, what does that mean? You look it up. You listen carefully. You notice patterns. That's curiosity. It's like being a detective in the world of language. You keep asking questions and finding small answers. The more curious you are, the faster you learn. When I was learning another language, I loved listening to people in cafes or on the bus. I listened to how they spoke, how they laughed, how they said hello or goodbye. Every little sound taught me something. That kind of curiosity made learning fun. You can do that too. Listen, observe, notice. English is all around you, waiting to be discovered. Let's repeat again. I am curious about English. I notice small details. I learn from everything I hear. Curiosity helps me grow. I am always a student. Very nice. You are building both your English and your mindset. Before we end this part, let's take a small moment to feel peace. Sit quietly, breathe slowly, and say softly, I am learning. I am improving. I am always a student. Remember, learning English is not just about words. It's about becoming a better version of yourself, more patient, more open, more confident, and more kind. Every time you listen, you are growing in many ways. So be proud of yourself. You are doing something amazing. Sometimes, when we are learning something new, we forget to enjoy the journey because we are too focused on the final goal. We think, when I can speak perfectly, I will be happy. But learning does not work like that. The joy is in the process, not only in the result. Every time you listen, every time you understand a new word, every time you speak even one sentence, that is success. You don't need to wait for a perfect day to feel proud. The perfect day is today because you're learning now. The person who decides to keep learning is already successful. Learning is like walking on a long road. Some days are sunny, some are rainy, but both help you move forward. Rain makes you stronger, and sun gives you light. So don't worry about how far you still have to go. Smile and keep walking. Step by step, you are getting closer to your dream. When I first started learning another language, I wanted to speak fast. I wanted people to understand me right away. But then I learned something important. Speed is not the same as fluency. Real fluency is when you feel comfortable and confident, not when you speak fast. It's okay to pause and think. It's okay to take your time. Speaking slowly helps you find the right words and pronounce them clearly. Listeners appreciate that. They can understand you better when you speak calmly. So don't rush your words. Speak slowly, speak clearly, and speak with love. Your voice matters more than your speed. Let's say together slowly. I don't need to speak fast. I speak clearly and calmly. I share my message with confidence. My voice is important. I am always a student. Very good. You are learning not only language but peace. Now, let's think about how English can become a part of your everyday life. You don't need to wait for a special time to practice. You can include it in small, simple moments. For example, when you wake up, say good morning in English. When you eat breakfast, name the food in English: bread, tea, milk, or rice. When you walk outside, look at things and think their names in English: tree, sky, car, bird, cloud. When you go to sleep, whisper a few kind words to yourself: I learned something today. I am proud. These small habits make English a natural part of your life. You will start to think in English without even trying. I remember one of my students from Mexico, a woman named Sophia. She loved cooking. I told her, use your kitchen as your classroom. So she started saying every ingredient in English. Salt, sugar, spoon, pot, knife, onion, tomato, garlic. She listened to English songs while cooking. After some months, her vocabulary became much bigger. She told me, now when I cook, I feel like I'm in an English class, but it's fun. That's the secret. When learning feels fun and natural, you remember everything more easily. Let's practice saying a few daily life sentences together. I can learn English everywhere. Small moments help me grow. I use English in my daily life. I enjoy learning naturally. I am always a student. Perfect. Every time you say these words, you are training your brain to think like a learner, calm, curious, and active. Now, let's talk about the power of listening again. Listening is not only about hearing words. It's about understanding feelings, ideas, and rhythm. When you listen carefully, you begin to feel how English moves the flow, the pauses, the music of the language. You can practice this by repeating what you hear. You don't need to repeat every word perfectly. Just try to copy the sound, the tone, and the feeling. This practice is called shadowing. It's like singing along with a song, but with spoken English. It helps your mouth, ears, and brain work together. When I learned to shadow, I used to listen to short videos or podcasts. I paused after one sentence and repeated what I heard. At first, it felt strange, but after a few weeks, my speaking became smoother and more natural. You can try this too. Start with short sentences. Listen carefully, then repeat them slowly. Don't worry about mistakes, focus on rhythm and sound. Slowly, your pronunciation will become clearer. Let's repeat some short sentences you can use for shadowing. I am learning English every day. I listen carefully. I repeat and improve. My pronunciation is getting better. I am always a student. Beautiful. The more you repeat, the more confident your voice becomes. Now, I want to remind you about the importance of rest. Many learners push themselves too hard. They study too long and feel tired. But rest is also part of learning. When you rest, your brain organizes everything you learned. It takes the new information and stores it safely in your memory. That's why you often understand something better after sleeping. So don't feel guilty for taking breaks. Relaxing is not being lazy, it's being smart. Balance study and rest. Listen for a while, then close your eyes and breathe. Learning should feel peaceful, not painful. Let's say this slowly together. Rest helps my brain learn. I study with balance. I take time to breathe and relax. Learning is peaceful and calm. I am always a student. Excellent. You are doing so well. Now, let's imagine your English 1 year from now. Imagine yourself listening easily, understanding without translation, and speaking naturally. Imagine how proud you will feel. Imagine how many new friends you will make, and how many new things you will understand about the world. That future version of you is already on the way. Every time you listen to a lesson like this, you take one step closer. You are already becoming that confident, fluent person. Sometimes, we wait for someone to tell us, you are good enough. But you don't need to wait. You can tell yourself that now. Say it gently, I am good enough. I am doing my best. I am learning every day. These small sentences can change the way you feel about yourself. Because when you believe in your ability to learn, you really do learn faster. Let's say those sentences together. I am good enough. I am doing my best. I learn something every day. I believe in myself. I am always a student. Very good. Take a deep breath. Smile. Feel calm. You are doing something beautiful. You are building your mind, your confidence, and your connection to the world. English is not just a language. It is a bridge to new experiences, friendships, and ideas. And every word you learn is another step across that bridge. Learning English is like building a small house, one brick at a time. Every word you learn is a brick. Every sentence you understand is another brick. Every time you speak, listen, or write, you are adding more bricks to your house. At first, the house may feel small or shaky. You may look at other learners who have bigger houses and feel a little worried. But remember, your house is yours. It grows steadily, brick by brick, day by day. You don't need to compare. Every brick counts. Every small effort is building something strong inside you. Over time, the walls become taller, the rooms become bigger, and the house becomes a home where your English lives comfortably. It is warm and safe because it was built with care. When I was learning English, I used to feel frustrated. I wanted to speak perfectly, but I often made mistakes. One day, I remembered something my teacher told me: every mistake is a brick. Without mistakes, your house will never grow. That sentence changed everything. I started to smile when I made mistakes. I said to myself, good. I am adding a new brick. My confidence grew because I saw mistakes not as failure, but as part of the process. And you can do the same. Mistakes are not your enemies. They are your helpers. They show you where to pay attention, what to practice, and how to improve. Let's repeat that idea together slowly. Mistakes are my helpers. Every mistake helps me grow. I learn from my mistakes. My confidence grows with every effort. I am always a student. Very good. Notice how your mind feels when you say these words slowly and with attention. Another important part of learning is curiosity. A curious student always finds new things to enjoy. You can be curious about words, sentences, songs, books, or even small conversations around you. Curiosity is like a flashlight in a dark room. It shows you new things that were hidden before. When you are curious, learning stops being hard work and becomes an adventure. You want to know more, and every new thing makes you happy. Curiosity keeps your mind awake and your heart open. It is one of the most important skills for a lifelong student. I remember a young student, Ravi, who loved animals. He used English to read about birds, dogs, and cats. At first, he knew only a few words, but he kept asking questions, looking at pictures, and reading simple stories. After some months, he could tell his friends about animals in English. His curiosity gave him energy to keep learning. And every day, he felt proud. That shows us something important. When we follow what we love, learning becomes natural and joyful. Say these lines slowly with me. I am curious about English. I explore new words and ideas. I follow what I love. Learning is fun and joyful. I am always a student. Perfect. Every time you repeat these sentences, you train both your brain and your heart to stay interested, active, and positive. Another quiet secret of learning is patience. Learning a language is not a race. You cannot run too fast without getting tired. The best learners move like rivers, steady, calm, and persistent. Some days, you may not understand much. That is okay. Patience allows you to keep going without frustration. Imagine a river flowing slowly over rocks. Sometimes it moves quickly, sometimes slowly, but it always keeps moving. That is how your English grows. Even if you feel you are slow today, keep practicing. One day, you will look back and see how far you have come. When I teach students, I always remind them, patience is your friend. One student, Hannah, felt sad because she could not remember words quickly. I told her words are like seeds. Give them time to grow. She started to practice a little every day, and slowly, she remembered more and more words. After a year, she could speak with confidence. Patience made her success possible. You can do the same. Slow and steady wins in learning too. Repeat these sentences with me. I am patient with myself. I allow time for learning. Slow progress is real progress. I grow steadily every day. I am always a student. Very good. You are doing beautifully. Your mind is open, calm, and confident. Now, let's talk about listening one more time. Listening is the foundation of speaking. The more you listen, the more your brain learns sounds, words, and rhythm. You don't need to understand everything at first. Just listen slowly and clearly. Enjoy the music of English. Let your ears feel the words. Try to repeat some sentences softly to yourself. Listening carefully helps your mind absorb naturally. It is like planting a seed. You water it slowly, and then, little by little, it grows into a strong plant. Every day you listen, your English grows like that plant. Let's practice some soft sentences together. I listen carefully every day. I enjoy the sound of English. My brain absorbs new words. Listening helps me speak naturally. I am always a student. Wonderful. Now take a slow, deep breath and imagine all the things you have learned so far. Smile gently. You are not just learning words. You are learning patience, curiosity, joy, and confidence. You are building a calm, strong mind. You are growing like a tree, slowly but surely. Every day you listen, repeat, and practice, you are becoming better, stronger, and happier. English is your tool to explore the world, connect with people, and share your thoughts. Keep your heart open and your mind curious, and you will always grow. Sometimes, learning English can feel like walking through a forest. At first, the trees are very tall, and the path is not clear. You may feel lost or unsure where to go. But if you take one small step at a time, the path becomes clearer. You notice flowers, birds, and sunlight between the trees. Each step is a small victory. Each step helps you move forward. You don't need to rush. You just need to keep walking and enjoying the journey. Learning is like that forest walk. Some days you may feel tired, some days excited, but every day you are moving forward. Even if you feel you don't know much, you are learning more than you think. When I first started learning English, I often felt lost too. I could not understand conversations. I could not read books easily. I felt small, like a person lost in a big forest. But then I decided to take small steps. I listened to short sentences. I repeated them slowly. I wrote a few words every day. Little by little, the forest became less frightening. I started to see paths, colors, and light. That feeling of progress was beautiful. It showed me that patience, practice, and curiosity can guide anyone, even when the road seems difficult. Let's repeat this idea together. I take small steps every day. I enjoy the journey of learning. I notice small successes. Every step brings me closer to my goal. I am always a student. Very good. Notice how peaceful these words feel when you say them slowly. Another important part of learning is sharing. When you speak English with friends or other learners, you help each other grow. Sometimes, teaching a word or sentence to someone else helps you remember it better. Sharing also makes learning fun. You smile, laugh, and feel connected. English is not just a personal journey. It is a bridge to other people's hearts. Every time you greet someone, ask a question, or answer a friend, you are practicing kindness and courage. Sharing makes your learning stronger, more meaningful, and happier. I remember a student, Tom, who was shy at first. He did not want to speak in class. But then he started teaching one new word every day to his little sister. Slowly, he became more confident. He realized that helping someone else also helped himself. That small act of sharing made his English grow faster and made him proud. You can do the same. Start with small steps. Say one new sentence to a friend or family member. Smile and enjoy the moment. Let's say these lines slowly. I share my English with others. Teaching helps me remember. Sharing makes learning fun. I grow stronger by helping others. I am always a student. Excellent. Your mind and heart are both growing. Now, let's think about goals. A good student has small goals and big dreams. You don't need to think about speaking perfectly next month. Start with one goal, maybe 5 new words a day or 1 sentence a day. Celebrate each small success. Small goals build confidence. Big dreams give you direction. Together, they create balance. You can imagine speaking freely with new friends, understanding songs, or reading your favorite books. These dreams motivate you to keep learning, even when it feels slow. Remember, slow progress is real progress. Imagine a student, Lila, who wanted to travel one day. Her small goal was to learn 5 new words every day. She wrote them in a notebook and repeated them softly. After a few months, she could make short conversations in English. 1 year later, she traveled to a new country and spoke with people easily. Her small steps led to a big dream. That shows us something important: patience, focus, and steady effort turn dreams into reality. Let's repeat this slowly. I set small goals every day. Big dreams guide me. Slow progress is real progress. I reach my dreams step by step. I am always a student. Very good. You are learning the power of goals, patience, and steady effort. Another part of learning is noticing your feelings. Sometimes you may feel nervous, tired, or frustrated. That is normal. A good student notices these feelings but does not give up. You can say softly, I feel nervous, but I will try. I feel tired, but I will continue. Accepting your feelings helps you move forward without fear. It is like holding a small stone in your hand. You notice it, but you keep walking. Feelings come and go, but your practice continues. Repeat these sentences slowly. I notice my feelings. I accept nervousness or tiredness. I keep learning even when it is hard. My practice is stronger than my fear. I am always a student. Wonderful. You are learning more than English. You are learning courage, patience, kindness, and calmness. Every word you hear, every sentence you repeat, every thought you have, it is part of a bigger journey. English is your tool, and your heart is your guide. Keep listening, keep practicing, and keep smiling. Every day, your house of English grows, your forest path becomes clear, and your dreams move closer. You are building something beautiful inside yourself, quietly, patiently, and confidently. Sometimes, learning English can feel like planting a garden. At first, the soil is empty and you only have small seeds. You don't see much at the beginning, and it can feel slow. But every day you water the seeds, give them sunlight, and care for them, little sprouts start to appear. Slowly, the tiny plants grow taller. Flowers bloom, fruits appear, and the garden becomes beautiful. Learning English is exactly like that. Each new word is a seed. Each sentence you understand is water. Each time you practice speaking or listening, it is sunlight. All your effort, even if small, helps your garden grow. You may not see big changes in one day, but over time, your English garden becomes strong, full of color and alive. I remember a student named Amir who loved drawing. He started learning English slowly, just like planting seeds. He wrote 1 word every day in his notebook. He listened to 1 short sentence every day and repeated it softly. At first, he did not see much progress. He felt unsure if he would ever speak well. But he kept going. After a few months, he noticed he could understand simple stories and speak short sentences. After 1 year, he could talk with his friends and even read small books. Amir's garden had grown because he cared for it every day. This shows us that patience, care, and small daily steps are more important than speed. Let's repeat this idea slowly together. Learning English is like planting a garden. Every word is a seed. Every sentence is water. Practice is sunlight. I am always a student. Very good. You can feel your learning growing like a garden in your mind. Another important part of learning is kindness, being kind to yourself. Sometimes you may make mistakes or forget words. That is normal. A kind student smiles at themselves and says, "It's okay. I am learning." Being harsh or angry does not help. Gentle, patient practice is stronger. Think of yourself as a small bird learning to fly. You may fall, but each try makes your wings stronger. Each try teaches you something new. So always speak to yourself gently. Encourage yourself quietly. Your voice, your thoughts, and your feelings are all part of your learning. Let's say these words slowly. I am kind to myself. Mistakes are okay. I encourage myself every day. I grow stronger with each try. I am always a student. Wonderful. Notice how calm and happy your mind feels when you say these words slowly. Listening carefully is also a form of kindness. When you listen slowly and clearly, you give your brain time to understand. You are not rushing, not judging, just enjoying the sounds, words, and rhythm of English. You can listen to a short story, a conversation, or a song. Repeat what you hear softly. Copy the sound, the tone, and the rhythm. This gentle practice is very powerful. It helps your pronunciation, your listening, and your confidence. Over time, listening becomes easier and speaking becomes more natural. Say these sentences slowly. I listen carefully and gently. I enjoy the sounds of English. I repeat softly to improve. Listening helps me speak naturally. I am always a student. Perfect. You are practicing patience, calmness, and attention, the most important skills for learning anything. Now, let's imagine your English garden again. You can see small sprouts, bigger plants, and some flowers blooming. Imagine yourself walking in this garden. You feel proud, happy, and peaceful. Each step you take shows your progress. You see all the seeds you planted growing slowly but surely. That is exactly how your learning is happening in real life. You may not notice it every day, but each day adds strength and beauty to your garden. You are doing something amazing. You are creating a place where English lives happily in your mind, ready to grow even more. Repeat these sentences slowly with me. I see my progress every day. I feel proud of my learning. Each day my garden grows. English is alive in my mind. I am always a student. Beautiful. Take a deep breath. Smile. Feel calm. Your heart and mind are growing together with your learning. Every word you learn, every sentence you repeat, and every moment you practice makes you stronger, wiser, and happier. English is not only about speaking words, it is about patience, curiosity, joy, and kindness. Keep listening, practicing, and enjoying the journey. Every day, you are becoming more confident and calm. Every day, you are building your English garden with love and care. You are truly always a student, and that is wonderful. Sometimes, learning English feels like climbing a small hill. At the bottom, the hill looks big, and the top seems very far. You may feel tired even before you start. But if you take one small step, then another, the hill becomes easier. Each step is practice. Each step is listening carefully, repeating slowly, and speaking softly. Step by step, the path becomes clear. You begin to notice small things: a flower by the side, a bird singing, the sunlight on your face. Learning English is the same. Every small practice, every new word, and every repeated sentence adds up. You may not see big results immediately, but slowly your understanding grows. Slowly your confidence grows. Slowly your English skills grow. And that is enough. Small steps are still real progress. When I started learning English, I often looked at other learners who seemed far ahead. I felt like giving up. But then I remembered a simple idea: focus on my own steps. I listened every day. I repeated slowly. I tried to speak one sentence. Little by little, I reached small goals. I could understand simple stories. I could speak with friends. I realized that focusing on my own journey, rather than comparing with others, made learning calm and joyful. Every step, no matter how small, counted. Every small effort mattered. You can do the same. Focus on yourself, your practice, and your journey. Let's repeat this slowly. I take small steps every day. I focus on my own journey. Every small effort counts. Step by step, I grow. I am always a student. Very good. Notice how calm and confident you feel when you say these sentences slowly. Another important idea is practice without fear. Sometimes, you may feel nervous to speak English. You may worry about mistakes. That is normal. A brave student does not wait to be perfect. A brave student speaks slowly, repeats softly, and tries again. Mistakes are not failure. Mistakes are lessons. Every time you speak, you grow stronger. Every time you listen, you grow wiser. Speaking slowly, softly, and gently is better than staying silent. Silence may feel safe, but it does not help your English grow. Every small try, even if imperfect, is a victory. Let's repeat together slowly. I speak softly and slowly. Mistakes help me grow. Every try is a victory. I am brave and patient. I am always a student. Wonderful. You are learning bravery, patience, and self-confidence along with English. Now, let's think about your daily practice. A good student practices every day, even for a short time. You do not need hours. 10 minutes of listening, 10 minutes of repeating, or 10 minutes of reading a simple story is enough. What matters is consistency. Like watering your English garden, even small daily care brings growth. Skipping days is normal sometimes, but returning to practice is important. Every day counts. Every day is a chance to learn. Keep your routine gentle, steady, and enjoyable. Repeat these sentences slowly. I practice English every day. Small daily practice brings growth. Every day is a new chance to learn. I am consistent and steady. I am always a student. Perfect. Notice how your mind feels steady and calm. Another helpful idea is imagination. When you listen, try to imagine the story or conversation. See the pictures in your mind. Hear the sounds. Feel the feelings. Imagination makes learning easier and more natural. It turns words into experiences. You remember better when you imagine clearly. You feel connected to the language. Stories, songs, and simple conversations become alive. Learning stops feeling like hard work. It becomes an adventure. Say these slowly with me. I imagine what I hear. I see the story in my mind. Imagination helps me remember. Learning becomes fun and natural. I am always a student. Excellent. Your English is growing like a tree, slowly, steadily, and naturally. Every word, every sentence, every gentle repetition adds strength. Every mistake is a lesson. Every small step is real progress. Listening carefully, speaking softly, imagining clearly, practicing daily, and being patient, these are the habits of a lifelong student. You are doing all of them quietly and steadily. Take a slow breath. Smile. Feel proud. You are not rushing. You are moving forward step by step, day by day. You are building your English garden, climbing your small hill, and walking your forest path. You are learning patience, courage, curiosity, and joy. You are truly always a student, and that is wonderful. Thank you for listening and practicing with me today. Remember, learning English is a journey, and you are always a student. Every small step, every word, every sentence you repeat helps you grow. Be patient, be curious, be kind to yourself, and enjoy every moment. Your English is like a garden. It grows slowly, steadily, and beautifully. Keep listening, keep practicing, and keep smiling. I am proud of you for every effort you make. See you in the next episode, and until then, remember, you are always a student, and every day is a chance to learn something new.